Welcome teacher and classmate. My name is Minho and I am a leader of Group 5. Our group would like to introduce to you an interesting topic called money laundering. The presentation is divided into three main parts as you can see on the screen. To begin with, I will make a brief overview about money laundering so that you can get the main points about this term. Money laundering is the act of transforming profits earned from a criminal activity into legal profits. While drug trafficking usually earns the headlines for generating such profits, other activities that fall within this rubric include arms smuggling, trafficking in stolen art, body parts, nuclear secrets, and weapons, kidnapping for ransom, or individuals seeking to avoid paying their taxes. There are three phases involved in laundering ill-gotten gains. Phase one is the placement of currency into a financial services institution. This can be a bank, a brokerage house, or so forth. Depositing illegal proceeds is the aim at this stage, and cash may be exchanged for commodities like trade products, jewels, gold bars, or checks. The money or other assets may be sent out of the nation where the crime was committed to the criminal's home nation or a particular nation where the money is easily deposited or invested. Phase two e-layering is the movement of the funds from institution to institution to conceal the original source and ownership of the funds. Therefore, money can be transferred and split frequently between bank accounts, countries, individuals, or corporations. It is common to use bank accounts in countries with strict bank secrecy laws. Phase three is iteration, is the time when the funds having been washed are reinvested in a legitimate business. At this stage, the objective is to give the criminal process an apparent lawful origin and utilize them for one's own benefit.
Next, I will talk about the history of money laundering. As you can see, there are four stages in the history. The first stage, in the 1920s, Al Capone and the Prohibition era. In the US, money laundering took up during the Prohibition era. Capone Al, who is a major mob boss in Chicago, it is rumored that the term money laundering originated from Capone because he set up laundromats across the city in order to disguise the origin of the money that which is earned from alcohol sales, and any profit from the alcohol will be reintroduced into the financial system at the revenue of the laundromats. And for the second stage, the 1980, the war on drugs. At the 12th and at the 20th century progress, the drug trade proved to be one of the biggest sources of money laundering. In 1986, the U.S. Money Laundering Control Act was released. Money laundering became a federal crime for the first time in history. Shortly after that, the Financial Action Task Force, or we can say FATF, was established in 1989. The purpose of the FATF is to analyze money laundering chain and evaluate the county steps that global governments have taken to prevent it. And in the 2000 is the counter-terrorist financing. After the 9/11 terrorist attack, the Patriot Act was passed in the U.S. It changed part of the 1986 Money Laundering Control Act to strengthen the banking rule with regard to international money laundering by improving communication. And the final stage is the 20 in the 2010, the ban takes center stage. While it is becoming harder to launder money, it is still a major problem worldwide. In the 2017, Deutsche Bank in Germany was fined 630 million euro for being connected to a Russian money laundering scheme. And in 2018, the Danske Bank was funneled 200 billion euro through a local branch in Estonia. The two examples have shown that large-scale criminal enterprise require a sophisticated money laundering operation. And next, I will talk about the characteristic of money laundering. First, deducing the origin of illegal money through financial channels. Second, breaking large cash amount into smaller deposits. and transferring funds through multiple accounts to obscure the money trail. And the fourth, investing illegal money into real estate, luxury assets, and avoiding record keeping, transacting in cash. And the final characteristic is using exploiting legal loophole. Finally, I want to introduce to you about the negative impact of money laundering. As you can see, money laundering has effect on the money demand. It will increase consumption, especially luxury goods, and it will create negatively impacting in monetary policy. And it also has effect on the income distribution. It will increase income inequality between individual and group, and it will drive crime and incentive to obtain illicit money. It also had the effect on tax revenue because it will reduce tax revenue as black money earning go untaxed, right? And the budget deficit will lead to borrowing or money printing, and both that will also make negative impact to economy. And finally, it has effect on the financial institution. It will create risk for institutions unknowingly use it for money laundering, and it also make damage reputation of implicated financial institution. And that is all about the basic information that you need to know about the money laundering.
The second part of the presentation is the current status of money laundering. To combat money laundering around the globe, a growing number of increasingly onerous laws and regulations have been enacted. While anti-money laundering regulations vary by country and region, they often share similarities, including the need to create policies and procedures. The Financial Action Task Force (FATF), an intergovernmental body that sets standards to help countries develop and update their laws to combat money laundering and terrorism financing, is responsible for global AML guidance. The FATF includes 39 members, 37 members jurisdictions, as well as the European Commission and the Gulf Cooperation Council. The US probably has the most comprehensive set of anti-money laundering laws to which bankers must adhere. One of the most important laws is the Bank Secrecy Act (BSA) of the 1970 and its regulations. Other significant money laundering laws in the US include the Comprehensive Crime Control Act, the Money Laundering Control Act, and so forth. European regulation of AML is guided by a series of legislative directives. The EU released the sixth Anti-Money Laundering Directive, 6 AMLD, which was in force in 2018 and require member states to transpose the national law by December 3, 2020. The UK primary AML regulations are the Money Laundering, Terrorist Financing and Transfer of Funds Act 2017, the Proceeds of Crime Act 2002, and the Terrorism Act 2000. Although the UK has left the EU, it has committed to implementing aspects of 6 AMLD. In Asia, Hong Kong is a typical country that follows FATF guidance. Hong Kong main AML regulations are the Anti-Money Laundering and the Counter-Terrorist Financing Ordinance (AMOLO) and the Banking Ordinance (BO).
Okay, turn to the next part of my talk, which is about reality of money laundering in the world. Now, I would like to present about overview of this part. Due to its clandestine nature, the global scale of money laundering is difficult to measure, but it is considered to be significant. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime estimates that between 2 and 5% of global GDP, up to 1.87 trillion euros, is laundered each year. This ratio corresponds to an enormous amount of the world's total money. Besides that, more than 500 corruption cases have been registered at Eurojust during the past 6 years. As you can see in the chart above, compared with the 7-8 cases registered at the agency in 2000, in 2016, the number of cases rose to 112 in 2021 despite the COVID-19 pandemic. This reflects Eurojust case statistics that show the number of money laundering cases has steadily increased in 2016, representing 12 to 14% of all registered cases. The top five member states involved in corruption cases registered at Eurojust are Greece, Germany, Romania, Italy, and Spain. Third countries also play a key role in Eurojust corruption case work. In addition, between 2016 and 2021, 42 third countries were involved in corruption cases. Now let's move to some information about money laundering in Germany. The research report estimates that the total value of money laundering activity in Germany could be up to 100 billion euros per year. Currently, Germany is considered a leading business investment destination in Europe. So money laundering activity in this rich country are very strong with the main sources of money coming from abroad. Statistics show that it is estimated that each year there are at least 15,000 to 28,000 transactions in Germany that suspected of being related to illegal money laundering activities. In 2017, Deutsche Bank was fined a total of $630 million, 558.5 euros million by US and UK financial authorities over accusation of having laundered money out of Russia. According to US and British regulators, Deutsche Bank's anti-money laundering control mechanic failed to spot sham trades with a value of up to $10 billion. Not know who the customers involving the trades were and where their money came from. These flaws allow a corrupt group of bank traders and offshore entities to improperly and covertly transfer more than $10 billion out of Russia. According to the legal document detailing the settlement with New York Department of Financial Services, by converting rubles into dollars through securities trades that had no discernible economic purpose. The scheme was a means for bad actors within a financial institution to achieve improper ends while evading compliance with applicable law. In addition, in Germany, around 30 dollar billion of money with unclear origins entered the real estate market in 2017 alone. According to the organization Anti-Corruption Transparency International, 15 to 30% of criminal processes are invested in real estate, through building and renovating, buying, selling, and renting. Such transactions and aggressively run through frontmen whose names don't appear in legal database.
Despite being highly illegal in the United States, money laundering remains a huge issue. There is tons of money laundering occurring in the US and across the globe. Worldwide, there are between $800 billion and $2 trillion laundered annually. The United States makes up at least $300 billion of that figure, meaning that the US is responsible for 15 to 38% of the money laundered annually. Capital One was the largest American bank fined and ordered to pay out $319 million for failing to report countless transactions. Bitcoin money laundering only makes up 0.9% of money laundering in the US and only 0.3% globally. The United Nations agency in 2020 pegged that the annual amount of money laundering worldwide scheme cost 2% to 5% of the world's total GDP. There is a common money laundering example in the US. The case of Paul Manafort and Rich Gay occurred from 2006 to 2017. According to NBC report, Manafort and Gates were accused of money laundering and generating tens of millions of dollars from their lobbying work for Ukraine. They hid payments from 2006 to 2016 through foreign corporations, banks, and partnerships. At first, both resisted the charge but eventually accepted them. Conviction came forward. Both had been sentenced for their money laundering crime. On August 29, 2023, the State Bank of Vietnam announced the draft project to establish the Department of Anti-Money Laundering to collect comments from organizations and individuals and submit them to Prime Minister. According to statistics from 2009 to June 2023, the Department of Anti-Money Laundering received about 19,400 suspicious transaction reports. The Department of Anti-Money Laundering has transferred information to the authority in nearly 8,694 reports related to about 1,262 cases, helping the investigation agency collect a lot of evidence in special serious cases. Research shows that, along with previous common forms of money laundering, the 4.0 Industrial Revolution has given rise to an increase in money laundering crimes through high technology, hidden in many other forms, making management very difficult. From the case that the authorities have the function of detecting and handling, our team systematized and identified some typical money laundering tricks commonly used by criminals in current areas. Establish sale company to buy and sell goods sold. Example, this is the trick used by couple Nguyễn Thị Nguyệt and Phạm Anh Tuấn and 11 accomplices in the illegal transportation of more than 30,000 billion VND that the Hanoi City Bureau Procuracy recently prosecuted. Withdrawing dirty money via online gambling platform. In July 2022, Hưng Yên Provincial Police just destroyed an inter-provincial gambling ring on the internet with an amount of over 20,000 billion VND. As relative to buy, transfer, or donate real estate. In the trillion-dollar online gambling case, Phan Xào Nam transferred it to his aunt. Phan Thu Hương is in charge of trading, buying, and selling many high-end apartments and villas in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. In particular, Ms. Hương bought a property in District 3, Ho Chi Minh City, costing up to 270 billion VND. In addition, Nam also used tens of billions dong in his friend's names to buy real estate to launder money. Providing virtual currency and virtual asset service. To prevent this risk, on September 22, 2023, the Vietnam Banking Association and the Vietnam Blockchain Association jointly organized the Conference "Regulation on Preventing and Combating Money Laundering and the Role of Preventing and Combating Money Laundering in Cryptocurrency Transactions" in Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay, let's move to the final part is conclusion. We have international regulatory efforts. First, we have some information about overview the key international AML regulatory bodies. The FATF is intergovernmental body to combat money laundering and has since expanded its mandate to include counter terrorist financing called CTF. The European Union is implemented the series of the directive to combat money laundering and CTF continuously update, making the EU's AML framework one of the most robust and the dynamic in the world. The United Nations conventions against illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, against transnational organized crime and corruption. Uh, Secondly, is some key AML compliance requirements. The first is CDD and EDD. Customer due diligence involves verifying a customer's identity and assessing their risk level. For customer assess as high risk, enhanced due diligence called EDD is undertaken, which include obtaining additional information about the customer and their transactions. Secondly is risk assessment and management. Following the identification and assessment of risk, businesses need to implement risk management strategies to mitigate this risk. Risk management requires businesses to monitor and update their risk profile continuously. A proactive and dynamic approach is vital. The third is suspicious activity reporting, called SAR. Upon identification of suspicious transactions, businesses are expected to submit SAR to the approach regulatory body, including comprehensive detail of the activities, such as party involved, the nature, the date, time of the transactions, and the reason why the activities was deemed suspicious. The fourth is ongoing monitoring and training. Monitoring helps to identify suspicious activities in a timely manner, while training ensures that all staff members are aware to their roles and responsibilities in preventing money laundering. And the fifth is record keeping, vary by jurisdictions, to provide a trail of evidence that can be used by law enforcement agencies in their investigations to financial crime. Therefore, it's crucial that the records are detailed, accurate, and easily retrievable. The last part is summarizing experience from other countries for Vietnam and proposing implications. We have some information about experience from other countries like Switzerland. Switzerland has made a significant effort to combat money laundering, aligning its regulations with international standards set by organizations like FATF. The Australia has implemented the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism Financing Act to combat money laundering. The Singapore is known for its robust financial sectors and has implemented strict AML measures to maintain its reputation. It has established the Financial Intelligence Unit, called FIU, and require financial institutions to conduct through customer due diligence, report suspicious transactions, and maintain transaction record. About proposing implications, we have five implications, such as strengthening AML regulation, enhancing enforcement and supervision, international cooperation, public awareness and training, and the last one is technological advancements. Uh, Thank you for listening. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you.